Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hydrogen Therapy Podcast. Today, we continue our series on redox homeostasis, the delicate balance between oxidation and antioxidation that controls our health. By now, you know that reactive oxygen species ROS, or free radicals, are certainly a double-edged sword in health. In small doses, they play an essential role in our cells and immune defenses. In excess, they accelerate aging and cellular damage that can develop into serious disease. While we can stimulate healthy oxidative stress through supplements, exercise, and other metabolic stressors to boost mitochondrial energy, excessive oxidative stress, whether internal or environmental, is the origin of most disease. Most ROS is generated in the mitochondria during the production of adenosine triphosphate ATP, which is our primary cellular life force energy source. As the mitochondria convert food and oxygen into energy through oxidative phosphorylation, a small percentage of electrons inevitably leak out and react with oxygen to form free radicals. This process is remarkably efficient in its continuous cycle, where ATP and ADP act like a biological rechargeable battery. This energy production is supported by the Krebs cycle and the electron transport chain if you want to research more. Molecular hydrogen plays a critical role in stimulating ATP, which translates into an immediate energy boost and also supports the electron transport chain. This process ensures that fuel is delivered exactly where it is needed for muscle contraction and nerve impulses. Low-intensity steady cardio exercise triggers the growth of new mitochondria using brief spikes in ROS to signal muscles to become more efficient. But when this system fails and ATP levels drop, we experience the profound fatigue often described by athletes as hitting a wall. This is one of the reasons why athletes are using supplements of molecular hydrogen, peptides, and creatine as energy boosters. When ROS production outpaces the body's natural antioxidant defenses, such as glutathione, the resulting oxidative stress acts like a bull in a china shop. This imbalance leads to DNA mutations that can trigger cancer and peroxidation of fats that causes cell membranes to leak, as well as degradation of essential structural proteins. When ROS production becomes excessive, it is the appropriate time for strategic intervention using supplemental antioxidation to support glutathione, autophagy, and apoptosis, as well as reduce free radicals back to controlled levels. Our favorite natural antioxidant therapy intervention is the high-dose rejuvenation hydrogen tablets, because our body is as dependent on molecular hydrogen to reduce oxidative stress as it is on oxygen to create ROS. Given our body is about 60% water, that translates into a body made up of about 50% hydrogen based on just our water content. Therefore, both molecular hydrogen and oxygen play an essential role in our redox homeostasis and can require supplemental sources when levels fluctuate. As part of our intervention, we also combine carbon-60 with supplemental molecular hydrogen to turn hydrogen into a free radical scavenger by taking hydrogen into the mitochondria and attracting free radicals close enough to force hydrogen to donate one of its two stabilizing electrons and reduce ROS into water. This stops free radical damage to mitochondrial proteins and DNA that slows down energy production. Hydrogen therapy can also trigger signaling pathways that stimulate the body to create new mitochondria, increasing the overall capacity for energy production. But when the body fights infection, it intentionally increases ROS to overwhelm viral pathogens. Symptoms like inflammation, fatigue, fever, and general malaise are simply collateral damage from the battle over pathogens. To win this war, we must often support the body defense by using oxidizing supplements that help push the microbial environment past its toxic threshold further than what the body can do on its own, especially with the most virulent and resistant pathogen strains that mutate in epidemics. Unfortunately, increasing oxidation can also increase the nagging symptoms people want relief from. We have to warn everyone that they will probably feel worse before they feel better because pathogens put up a fierce fight to resist and inhibit the body's defenses. Flu-like symptoms and lethargy are signs that the war is raging on and hopefully eventually won when pathogens are detoxed out of the body, which inevitably provokes Herxheimer syndrome or de-off reaction. This reaction is particularly acute when inducing detox with antioxidant molecular hydrogen therapy once the pathogen is neutralized. Many people can barely tolerate induced cellular detox and have to do it in low and slow doses. But this methodical approach of protracted rotation of oxidation and antioxidation therapies is the only way to suffer through restoring redox homeostasis. Most conventional therapies focus on suppressing flu-like symptoms or inflammation. At best, this drives pathogens into dormancy, where they form protected colonies around cysts or tumors and block apoptosis and immune responses to become highly resistant to body defenses. Eventually, these dormant infections flare up the moment the immune system is compromised and then evolve into chronic states of more serious disease. We believe there is a concerted global effort to hide the amount of infection carried by mosquitoes or ticks until reaching epidemic proportions. Thanks to plane travel, we are not isolated from malaria, West Nile, Lyme's, dengue, Zika, and chikungunya mosquito-carrying pathogens. The CDC is known to avoid panic by not alerting the public and just quietly spraying insecticide in the affected areas, hoping it will be seasonal. This only postpones the inevitable migration of infected birds and other animals, which has actually been tracked along interstate highway routes. Western medicine doesn't even recognize parasites or infectious pathogens because there is no money in it. These conditions are all treatable for pennies in third world countries with over-the-counter medicine that in the U.S. is by prescription only and often not covered by insurance, because insurance protects the medical industry preference for antibiotics. Our medical establishment would rather wait until the infection evolves into more profitable neurological or heart disease, stroke, and cancer, or becomes an epidemic, so they can supply a vaccine with all the legal liability protection. Their attempt once at a Lyme vaccine was such a failure with forest rangers that it was quickly stopped after causing the disease instead of preventing it. Have you noticed how doctors feel compelled to give you a diagnosis and prescription drug to keep you returning for a refill under the guise of being vigilant? One of their favorites is Lipitor, which is a statin now linked to increase in Alzheimer's and early-onset dementia for a fictitious disease they call high cholesterol. Another favorite is Lisinopril, that is for another fictitious disease they call high blood pressure. They know that everyone in an intimidating doctor's office is blowing a gasket, clutching their pearls in fear of bad news, and thank God when it is only high blood pressure. Both of these examples are how doctors keep you returning regularly to pay for their annual luxury vacations. In contrast, Eastern medicine has understood mitochondrial life force energy they call qi, and uses holistic approaches to rebalance the body's oxidation at the first sign of imbalance. Hopefully, the future of preventative medicine may induce redox homeostasis through meditative therapy, energy work to counter EMF radiation, supplements, diet, and lifestyle counseling. This could change lives that suffer the consequences of external triggers such as EMF radiation, pollutants, microplastics, alcohol, and chronic stress. Emotional trauma, grief, and anxiety also contribute to long-term oxidative stress and a compromised immune system with symptoms of chronic pain, heart disease, allergies, and even cancer. Our health balance is not the absence of oxidation. It is a finely tuned equilibrium. While our modern electric lifestyles often tip us toward overoxidation and systemic decline, we can reclaim our health by managing ROS by mitigating internal stressors with preventative antioxidant supplement intervention. We also need to know when to oxidize to support ROS in controlled doses to act like precision-guided weapons against pathogens. During a respiratory burst, ROS provokes cascading events of white blood cells deliberately creating an oxidative kill zone to shred the membranes of invading bacteria and pathogens, and signaling cells when to repair themselves, and trigger the production of interferons against viruses, and help T cells and B cells adapt to new threats. When you are healthy, antioxidant supplements will only reward you with good health over time. The biggest mistake people make is to empower their doctor with the responsibility to cure them instead of taking control with prevention against known common causes of disease and aging. We hope you understand that with the right balancing protocol, we don't have to fall apart and die of a terminal disease. We need to always be vigilant of our tolerance to defend ourselves against excess oxidative stress. This will guide us on how much antioxidant supplement we need to keep that equilibrium. If you can explain your lifestyle and health to us, then we can also guide you on a reasonable dose and frequency of antioxidants and/or oxidants that should keep you healthy or help your body repair itself. You are always welcome to call before using our products to guide you in dose and frequency based on your health, lifestyle, and age, because everyone is a little different. Thanks again, and feel free to comment or ask us a question here, as well as visit our website at h2waterforlife.com and like, subscribe, and share it with others.